Hey, how's it going, guys? So this video has been a long time coming. I actually sent this video to Ian a while ago to review to see if he wanted me to take anything out, because I really didn't want to give anything away. And yeah, he gave me the green light, so here it is. But before I show you guys the video, I should also add that my camera just ran out of battery, or right, and so I had to leave out a lot of stuff which was covered in the group lesson as well, which included how to like take corners and how to like corner while loading the rear axle, which is kind of cool. I wish I had some of that. This is when yeah, he taught us how to load the rear axle in the corner, which means how you pump the berm through the corner, kind of like how Brian Lopes cornered, right? Which is why he was kicking everybody's ass in like the mid-2000s. And then how to cutty, and then yeah, he pointed out that when I was doing it, I thought I was cutting. I was actually Scandinavian flicking stuff, but it was a cutty. But yeah, I learned how to cutty that day, and not just my usual Scandi flick. So there was that just covered, and I should also mention that a lot of this video is just like bike setup stuff. But that stuff is actually really important because like a lot of people set their bikes up wrong, and even people who have been riding for a while in this class, this group lesson, had their bikes set up with Ian, and they were like, holy Batman, this is so much more stable. So yeah, anyways, check out this video. Let me know what you guys think. What's up, guys? So this video has been a long time coming. I took a group lesson with Ian Massey of trailtechnique.com in mid-April, with a bunch of buddies of mine. There were a total of 6 of us. Oh, there's my kitty coming down the ladder. But anyways, there were 6 of us, and it was great, man. I've known Ian since the mid-2000s, when that whole downhill scene in the mid-2000s, and yeah, dude shreds. And what's more important than him just being an absolute shredder is that he's a great teacher as well, and he knows how to, explain things to you in a million different ways, and one of them will work for you, I'm sure. But yeah, anyways, there were 6 of us of varying abilities. Some of us were seasoned riders, and some of us were kind of new to the sport. But it all worked out in the group lesson-wise because we were all going in with the understanding that we know shit about his method, and we were all absolute beginners and trying to just, learn how to ride his way. And because of that, we came out with, an understanding on how to do it, sort of, or at least knowing how to do it, and then it's just up to us to practice it so that we can execute it every single time, and that is our main reaction to when shit hits the fan on the trail. So anyways, there were 6 of us, and the lesson started at 9:30-ish, and it ended at about 6 p.m. because, well, there were just a lot of us, right? And we just covered a lot of shit. But anyways, first off, it started with Ian setting us up on our bikes in terms of our cockpit and our suspension. Lever angles, bar sweep angles, and suspension stuff. I'm going to show you a bunch of clips here and there to sort of give you an idea of what to expect when you take a lesson with him, without giving stuff away, or hopefully not giving stuff away. Ian is legit, man. Like, I highly recommend taking a lesson with him. And the cool thing about this, too, is that a bunch of us, because some of us have been doing this for a while, and some of these things we sort of do naturally, but at the same time, like, we don't really, or at least I know for me, I don't know how I'm doing certain things. And having Ian explain what we were supposed to do in a step-by-step process was very, very cool, because it gave us the ability to be able to be more mindful of these motions when we practice them, and what muscle groups to target when we're working out to train, and being able to do that and be more mindful of what's supposed to happen lets us practice more efficiently, and eventually that becomes, muscle memory. Though muscle memory, your muscles don't have memory, but you remember the motions and how it feels like for these things to happen. It eventually becomes like, you're driving to work, and do you really think of every turn anymore? You don't, right? So there's that. So here's a clip of him setting up all these bars and suspension. Check this out. So this right here is actually Ian showing us the difference in stability between a traditional attack position, the one we've been taught for like hella days ago, and how it's not very stable. Because watch him kick his wheel right here, boop, and the wheel just flops. And then he puts, my buddy Paolo, watch that, in his position, and how Paolo can react to the forces being put on him. It's kind of cool. The next thing right here is where Ian puts us in his body position on the bike when we're off the bike. So we get in position before we even get on bikes, and it shows you the difference in how you can manipulate your mass and how to be a stable you on a bike. And here he is kind of wiggling me around in that position. And then watch this. I go back to the traditional attack position in a neutral position, and then I'm gonna pull him, and boop, I just pulled myself forward. So it's kind of cool to it's kind of hip. I'm not gonna share what the position is or what it is, but there you can see the difference between me being able to adjust and still be stable while still maintaining all my arms and be able to manipulate stuff like that. And then he does it with all of us, making sure we all get in the same position, making sure we're using the right muscles and sitting in the right position. And I'm gonna not describe it because I'm gonna give it away. Take a lesson with it. It's dope. But that's what he does, and that's what he's doing over here, and he's just showing us how all this stuff happens. And he's showing how stable you can be no matter how violent things get on the trail. And the cool thing about all this too is when you get into position, you can actually feel certain muscles engage and how stable your core is. And what's cool about that is that, at least for me, it gave me an idea of when I'm working out and when I'm training, what muscle groups to target. And that was pretty important. And then he actually showed us a couple warm-ups and stuff, or a couple of workouts and stuff, which is kind of cool, to make sure that we target those muscles and stuff like that. And a lot of what he was doing with this was off the bike. Just being able to get in that position off the bike, so that when we get on the bike, we're already there. And the cool thing is, when you get on the bike in that position, you can basically roll over so much shit, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're pulling up your wheel or whatever, or, making sure you're not doing it. You're just a passenger in this position, and it works. Your bike will just roll over shit. Oh, over here is him showing us this little push-up exercise. It was push-up exercise, but it was more of what he was basically showing us how to engage a certain part of our body and what should be engaged when we were on the bike, and that was kind of cool. And then there's a lot of off-the-bike stuff, which I thought was just absolutely vital, and the information was so good that this is what I practice now, and what my workouts and my practice routine on the bike is kind of based off this whole process at this point. If you're still with me, check this out. Right there, Ian's demonstrating how to manipulate the bike without using strength and just your body mass, and how that's more stable, and why you can do a wheelie with one hand, and why most people wheelie like that. But he actually puts our bodies in their new positions on the bike. Check this out. That's kind of cool.
Let the head neck go. It's perfect. Pull out your bars for me. Pull out. There we go. How stable is that? Pretty stable. Okay, take your left hand off. Take it off the bar. Nothing happens.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Okay.
All right. So after he got us in our new body positions on our bikes, we proceeded to just run into these plank-like looking things built by a bunch of 2x4s, and absolutely did nothing. And, you know, just to test out a body position, it's kind of cool. But he also showed us that in our new body positions, we were in a better mechanical advantage to manipulate the vectors, the direction in which we're putting our force to make our bike do things. So we could actually end up pumping those planks of 2x4s, and then eventually we started like creating enough lift by like sort of manualing and just getting over it. And then he also demonstrated right here, like watch how his rear wheel lands right in front of that plank. Nothing happens because of that body position and that technique of rear loading the axle. Yeah, he's doing that throttle lift dance. But it's kind of cool. So a lot of this stuff we did starts from absolute beginning, and then we start doing some dumb, and then the obstacles just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh, and at this group lesson, guess which dumbass brought a downhill bike? Oh my god, that was so hard to ride. Not just a downhill bike, but a downhill bike that is definitely too big for me. The reach on my bike's 454 millimeters. And my stem is like 42 millimeters. It was so hard to create lift on that thing, but it was the only flat bar bike I had. But yeah, anyways, we started doing the 2x4s, and then we started going up the stairs in this gazebo, which is kind of cool, and then creating lift on the stairs, and we could actually launch these stairs after all. It took me a couple tries to figure out how to do it, and then I figured out how to do it, and that was kind of cool. And then that escalated really quickly into going up this, I don't know, was it 2-foot ledge? I think it was about 2 feet without the stairs, to the top of the gazebo without the stairs, by creating lift and then somehow like letting my back follow through while still holding the bike, and it was so smooth. It was really, really cool. Yeah, and I was really, really tired at the end of this, just on that downhill bike. I actually got on Paolo's bike at the end of this, and I realized like how bike sizing can make a big difference, because Paolo's Tracer's got a 438 mil reach. I tried to create lift and pull a manual, and first thing I did, I put my back on the floor, looped out. But yeah, that's what we did. We just escalated from jumping stairs, or just like being able to go up the stairs and then launching the stairs, and then going up like straight up, no ramp kind of thing, just like 2 feet ledge going up it. And by the way, we're all riding flat pedals, and mind you, I haven't ridden flat pedals in 15 years. So this was kind of scary, but you know, we adapt, we make it work.
Get the timing right? How easy is that?
Dude, it's easy. That's easier than everything else.
Beautiful.
Let's see how slow I can do this shit.
So over here you can see I'm just super giddy and laughing, and then this happens right here. I don't know what happened. So yeah, like I said, the obstacles just got bigger and bigger. This is the log pile, which is kind of cool. A lot of people actually cheat and actually put other logs in front of it to make it sort of like a ramp. Nah, this is like a vertical thing, which is like 3 feet high. That was pretty cool. And then this stairs thing was cool, because what he's showing us how to do there is basically how to create a lift at the bottom of the stairs where the compression happens. And then when you can do that, this is what you can do. Create lift, hold that manual position, then hop in, which is kind of like riding a half pipe, you know, and that's hella hit. I actually went back my dad's bike, and that's it right there, the Jeffsy, and I could not commit into holding that manual up till where I release it into the stairs, and that's why you see me like create lift later so I can just hop into it. And you can also see me like actually preload, which is a big no-no. But anyways, there you have it. There's a bunch of other stuff we did too. We actually rode up those stairs, by the way, which is really cool. Ian showed us how to like use rear axle loading to pedal up technical stuff, including those stairs. We pedaled up those stairs, which is really, really cool. Ian pointed out that I do Scandinavian flicks and not cutties, which is really cool because I learned how to cutty that day. And then, yeah, once we get in the hang of all this rear axle loading, creating lift methods, the next step, or the next thing I'm going to want to try and learn after I get this down, which is hopefully soon and not like 50 million years later, who knows how long it's going to take. It'll happen when it happens, but it's to create lift and rotation. And that's cool as shit. But yeah, that's Ian Massey's fundamentals lesson. Check him out at trailtechnique.com. Don't forget to click here to subscribe if you haven't yet. Click here for, I don't know, some riding videos. Click here for another riding video. Click here for maybe a bike tips or review video. I don't know. But click something. I'll catch you guys on the trail. Bye.